Welcome back, dude and dudettes, to another wild episode of Send It Mate. We're here to talk about all things hunting and outdoors. And today, we've got something that'll keep your gear running smoother than a dingo's getaway.
That's right. Our show is brought to you by High Caliber, the gun and knife oil company that knows how to keep your firearms and blades in tip-top shape.
High Caliber is like the secret sauce for hunters, anglers, and outdoorsy folk everywhere. It's like the magic potion that makes your gun and knives happier than a dog with two tails.
You know, guys, I've been using High Caliber oil for a while now, and let me tell you, it's the duck's nuts. My rifle practically sings a lullaby when I take it out hunting.
And speaking of lullabies, ever tried sneaking up on a deer with a squeaky gun? It's a prime way to end up with no venison in the freezer. You'll be hungrier than a vegan at a bacon festival.
Absolutely. But with High Caliber oil, your gun will be quieter than a ninja in moonlight. You'll be stalking your prey with the grace and stealth of a mountain lion.
High Caliber doesn't just keep things quiet, it also prevents rust and corrosion, so you won't find your gear looking like it spent a season at the bottom of a creek.
That's right, and for you knife enthusiasts out there, High Caliber has got you covered too. Your trusty blade will slice through anything smoother than butter on a hot biscuit.
So, folks, don't let your gear become a rusty, squeaky mess. Head on over to highcaliber.com.au and grab a bottle of their oil today.
And if you use the code SENDITMATE at checkout, you'll get a special discount. I say again, use the code SENDITMATE for all your oil slick, stealthy hunting needs.
Thanks to High Caliber, you'll be sending it in style and silence.
So, gear up, oil up, and send it, mate. High Caliber, the ultimate oil for the ultimate hunter.
What's going on, you good dude and dudettes? I'm Josh.
I'm Caleb.
I'm Ryan.
And we are Send It Mate.
Yeah, buddy.
We are still.
Coming at you, Season 2, Episode 12. Oh, Caleb doesn't like when anyone does that.
Well, I've done it before, so that would be
Has. Did he just admit his mistake?
Mistake. A mistake.
Did he?
It would be hypocritical of me to
Settle down.
chastise you at this point, Joshua.
Take the fucking high road.
Oh, there is no high road. There's only the low roads and the highs.
No, there's a bridge, bruh.
Anyway,
Anyway,
we're into it.
we are. So, how was your weekend?
Why do you do this? What the fuck? You need to get some better Q questions, man.
Because it pisses you off. That's why I do it. All right. Well, fuck you. I'm going to tell you about my week.
How was your weekend, Josh?
So, my point of interest ties in with my week, actually.
Does it?
Yes.
I want to hope so, because if it doesn't, then it'd be kind of fucking weird.
It does. So,
Dudes, tell more.
a dear friend of mine, Josh Haynes.
Shout out to the big man himself.
Yeah, he was very kind and actually took us out to his brother's place in the southeast last week. And it was a bit of there's a lot going on at the moment in my life, so I was a bit rushed. And anyway, I ended up driving down and I got there at like 2 o'clock in the morning. And then we sat around the fire having beers until like 3.
Super keen.
Yeah. Anyway.
It's really good that you could fit that in before your gender reassignment surgery.
Yes, it's 2021 and I feel like you shouldn't judge me, you asshole.
Oh, well, you just said you got a lot going on in your life. I thought the listeners might want to know what's actually going on.
How are the puberty blockers going? I mean, you've been on them since you were 12. It's evident in your stature.
Anyway, you were hunting.
At least I got a fucking six-pack, you fucking pleb.
That's all right. I've got like 3 heads of height on you, so...
I love how this is your retaliation all the time.
Well, man,
At least I'm Jack, bro.
You just resort to, oh, you want me to take my shirt off?
Yeah, well, if
Don't
you
even
had a
say
body
it.
like mine, you can resort to that, all right? Fucking chubby chaser.
Sitting there in a bowl of ice cream, all of a sudden Josh is taking his shirt off, just fucking cos.
Oh, dear.
Anyway, you're hunting.
Yeah, anyway.
With Hainsey.
So I've got out, anyway, very spur of the moment thing. Anyway, he's taken us out and we stepped out. We stepped off for a hunt the next day and like as we were going, there was reds roaring and fallows croaking like along this sort of like, it's sort of like a valley, just rolling hills. Anyway, there was a lot of fog, so we couldn't see. All we could do was hear them. Yeah, it was pretty surreal actually.
That's just to cut in there. That is very similar to my first hunting, like stalking experience, which I think I've spoken about on the podcast before.
You have.
It is fucking awesome. I always say if everyone who experiences that, which you experienced, once you have that experience, you're fucking hooked, man.
Yeah. You're absolutely jacked, man. Just hearing them, just hearing the deer do their thing, you just, I don't know, it sends shivers down your spine and you just get all jacked and oh, mate, the best feeling in the world. Anyway, we ended up stalking, following, pretty much the deer. We're heading into the scrub, to bed down for the day already. So we were following them up as they were moving towards the scrub. And we were pretty lucky. We actually we sort of followed them into this scrub line and one of the bucks was sitting down in his rutting bed and just carrying his head off.
For those playing at home, what's a rutting bed?
Oh, it was just where they lay down and...
That's where Josh does his best work. After hours in the rutting bed.
Yeah.
After a couple of beers by the fire.
Nice and dry too.
Casual rut.
Yeah, rutting bed. Explain what it is, because we've got some people that listening that may not know.
Well, essentially, so it's where he's scraping. It's where he's sort of just laying bedding down for the day, and where he's got all his does sort of rounded up.
So it's like a patch that he works.
It's like a bachelor's house, pretty much.
Like a dirt fucking patch that he scrapes around in and lays in and wallows in and.
Yeah, pretty much.
Just fornicates.
And it was actually quite hard because he was in the scrub.
Pad.
Yeah, pretty much. It's like a bachelor's pad.
Fuck pad.
Yes,
a fuck pad.
it's a fuck pad.
So much deer semen.
Everywhere.
It's a brothel.
Fucking everywhere.
It's a brothel for deer.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay, we'll roll with that.
Well, it's a brothel for one male.
So he's a fuck boy and he's got Tinder.
Yeah. Can you tell us about Tinder, Ryan? I don't know what Tinder is. I don't know what Tinder is. Can you please share, explain Tinder for me?
Well, it's this thing that deer have, and and they send in. Just get on with your story.
Wouldn't have gone with lighting fires been better?
Smoke cigarette. What?
Not the literal meaning of Tinder.
Anyway, so we'd walked into the scrub and we were pretty much just following the sound of him, and we could hear the sound getting louder and louder. So we started slowing down and into our final approach. And as we were moving through, Josh just let me go forward a little bit, and I'm coming through the bush, and next minute, boom, he was just there. I'm like, holy shit! I've looked back at Josh, and Josh has seen his antlers moving through the scrub. And actually, from where Josh was sitting, he had a better view than I had.
Are you talking about yourself in third person right
I was
now?
just thinking that.
Or are you talking about Josh Haynes?
Hainesy.
Just a couple of Joshes out in the hunt.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't put it past you to talk about yourself in third person.
Well. I don't know how to respond to that. Anyway, fucking hell, let me finish. Anyway, so...
Third person, first person? Which is it?
I thought he was
Third person.
I thought he was going to see us because we were less than 20 yards away, and I thought we were going to get busted pretty quick, especially at one stage, a branch snapped behind me, and I thought, no, that's it, we're done. And about maybe 5 seconds later, a whole bunch of does just come running into my right and coming right up, and I thought, yeah, we're done for sure, we're busted without a doubt. And they stopped for some reason, so I don't know why they didn't keep moving through. And the buck was just sitting there doing his thing, croaking and chasing some does. And eventually he sort of curled around and came in closer to us, and I reckon he would have been no more than 8 meters. And he's just sort of come in, and oh man, it was like the craziest thing ever. And I'm not a trophy hunter per se, but he measures about a 220, roughly. And for your first buck, fallow buck, a 220 is pretty fucking good. It's pretty hard to beat.
Break that down. Break it down. What do you mean by 220?
So it's like the Point Douglas scoring system.
I don't even know what the fuck that is. Point Douglas, was that a boat?
Yes, it's a
Port
boat.
Douglas. Point Douglas.
Point Douglas.
Obviously, the guy came up with a scoring system.
Yeah, so what did you say was a 220? Is that the span between the spoons of his antlers?
The spoons.
Hang on a second.
The spoon span.
So if a fallow deer is fucking and then like is in his like rut bed, does his spoon scoop up his cum and he just carries that shit around with him?
I feel like you're drawing a real long bow, and as in your filler right now while Josh is Googling the Douglas point system is a little left field.
Well, I'm just thinking, right? So fallows have like their antlers are, you call them the spoons, because they're like quite wide, and they can carry things like their own dirt cum.
Isn't the whole point of the rut to impregnate the female deer?
Yeah, but I imagine that they'd be getting shit everywhere, man. That'd be like fucking on the reeds, on the dirt, inside her.
I mean, this rut bed scenario sounds bizarre in that there's one male and several females.
So do the does come in and be like, oh, this is a bit rank, but you're a hottie, so
surely the sperm dries up. Like, surely you haven't got that much in the tank to go around.
So it's like, you know how mud dries a little bit and gets that crusty bit on top? That's what I'd imagine would be
Crust.
The crust. Yeah,
So-
just the world crust.
You're not allowed to.
All right, we can
You're
stop
not allowed
talking
to-
absolute bullshit.
Yeah, you're not allowed to have a go at me because, like, Ryan, you're testing my fucking brains here. But the best I can find is the Point Douglas system is essentially simple. Oh God, thank you. You double the smallest measurement on either horn or antler. If say the length of the left horn is around 38 inches and the length of the right horn is 36 inches, the total score from horn length is double the smallest measurement. I don't know if that differs actually for types of deer because it's not actually giving me for anything for fallow on how to score it.
Yeah, we might have to come back to that because I don't understand the logic behind that.
This sounds more complicated than the Duckworth-Lewis system in cricket.
How many ducks were there?
Exactly.
Does anyone watch cricket?
No.
Shut up. This is an Australian podcast. I will have the majority of Australia on my side, mate. So shut the fuck up.
Oh, jeez. Anyway, I think we've done that. Caleb, what's our topic, mate?
Well, okay, I'm finished. You button in with your questions.
Oh, yeah, was there more? But wait, there's
No,
more. Do we get
there's
steak
not.
knives?
Anyway, I've got a nice fallow buck.
Oh, yeah, you did. Actually,
Well done,
you got
Josh.
two, didn't
Josh,
you?
do you know what? For that, you deserve this.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Well done, son. Bringing
on
home
you.
the goods.
Thanks.
And it was really good because I rocked up to your place with my boy, and he's like, "What's that?" I'm like, "Oh, that looks like it's a whole head." So like, opened it up, and he's like, I think it's dead." I'm like, well, son,
No,
he's got no body.
It's alive and croaking.
How perceptive of you, son.
Yeah. What are you doing with it? Are you stuck it in the ground yet? Are you going to boil it? What are you doing?
No, I'll boil it this week. And I've got the cape for the bigger one.
Oh yeah, you're going to mix them over, get them taxied.
Yeah.
For those playing at home, if you want to get rid of the brains and the meat off of a skull, you whack it in boiling water and let it cook itself, and then you smack it with a high pressure hose.
It's actually a little bit of luck. So I've got a pot at home. We've all used it actually when we've been out camping.
Is that
And-
the piss pot?
No, it's like I've got like this big stainless steel pot that I used to cook mud crabs in when I was in Darwin, and it is the perfect size for a small deer head. Yeah,
What are you going to do when you get a big deer head?
get a fucking bin.
Just set a bin.
No, well, Josh was boiling heads out there actually, and he just used a one of those like might have been Gauv or tin rubbish
garbage
bins.
bin. Yeah.
Just filled up with water, and he managed to get his 14 or something.
That's not a
point
bad
red
idea,
stag-
man. You
stag-
can pick up a alloy bin pretty cheap.
Yeah,
And
Is it
it'll
an alloy
hold.
bin or just a 44-gallon drum?
no, it's a bin. I just said that.
It'll work. It'll work really, really well.
you're like a trash
Like a
can.
like a
Gauv
tin
trash
bin.
can,
Trash can, yeah.
Yeah,
tin
like a
or
trash
something.
can.
Yeah.
It'll warp like fuck, but it'd hold the water and it'll boil quick.
Oh man, if it lasts, like I'm pretty sure it'd be like $30 at most. So if it lasts,
Yeah.
I don't know, 10 or so deer, well, who cares?
Yeah.
Nothing, bro.
Just use it as a target after that.
Smash it.
Kill. All right.
Anyway,
Well, before we get on to the topic this week, let's have a quick little follow-up question from Mitch, who we answered.
Ooh, are we having question time?
We are. We answered
Yes.
this. We had a discussion around Mitch's question the other week in regards to headshots versus heart-lung shots and meat harvest. Another follow-up question from Mitch. Thanks, Mitch, again. What are your thoughts on factory loads over reloads and different projectiles, as in soft points or ballistic tips in a hunting situation? I mean, firstly, factory rounds are pretty good. And if you found one that really works well in your rifle, then
Look,
it's going to come down to how much time you have.
Yeah, absolutely.
And if you're shooting out to like big distances, then you probably want to go hand loads.
yeah, I always boil it down to how ready your ammo is. So say if you go to interstate and you've hand loaded, I don't know, 20 rounds, you go interstate, you use those 20 rounds, then you got to switch. You run out and you run down to the gun shop to go buy more. Well, then you've got to switch to factory ammunition. So I think from a hunting perspective of a hunter that goes interstate a lot to hunt, wow, that's a fucking mouthful. I think factory ammunition gets the tick of approval for me.
If it's a readily available round.
Well, that's why in caliber choices, I like to stick with, your main calibers that you're going to find. So, your 223, your 308, your 3006, 300s, you're going to get pretty much at any gun shop. So then it just comes down, as you said, Caleb, is finding a decent factory load that runs, well out of your rifle.
Just buy a Hauer, shoots everything fine.
Remembering if you're hunting targets, if you're shooting targets, you're going to want better accuracy. But if you're hunting, you've got a little bit of fudge factor there.
Well, here's the thing. So if you've got a heap of time on your hands to reload, go for your life. If you don't have much time, buy factory ammo. If you want to save some money, hand load.
You'd have to do a lot of nowadays.
You have to have the time. You can save money, but you have to have the time to be able to do it.
And you got to outlay the gear and
the initial outlay, exactly.
You'd have to do a lot of, depending on the caliber, you've got to do a lot of shooting to make.
You're probably, to get a decent
to
load,
save.
Hand load set up, you're probably going to need what, $1,000?
No, more than that now. About probably $3,500.
Yeah, and you can go down the rabbit hole of, finding a load or using like good brass, good powder, primers, projectiles, and spend just as much money.
It's just science, man. And it's a lot of trial and error.
No, what I'm saying is like you can spend just as much money as just buying factory ammunition.
Yeah.
As for projectiles, look, I would say soft points are great for hunting. Ballistic tips are great for hunting. If you want, you get your like triple shocks or your core locks. They're great for big game. There is an argument out there that shooting game with your Match King projectiles is no good, but I beg to differ. I've taken quite a few fallow deer with my 308 using Sierra, 168 grain Sierra Match Kings.
Well, that's what you and I are currently using. Yeah.
They do fine.
Shot placement, man.
Yeah.
I mean, the thing is, exactly, shot placement. So accuracy is king here. So if you've found a decent factory ammo that works in your rifle, and you're going to get the odd flyer, but if 99% of the time it's doing what you want, is saving yourself a heap of time.
Yeah. I'd say to everyone who's just getting into shooting, don't waste your time and money on trying to get into reloading. Get yourself
baby steps. Baby steps.
I can't see myself doing it until I retire.
Yeah. Oh, shit, yeah. No, neither.
And then I'm going to be like, I want to be out in that shed, hand loading.
Yeah. It's very time consuming.
Exactly.
I've been trying to get into it myself, but of late, it's definitely time consuming and do not have that luxury. But also, it's one of those things where you may get into it with the purpose of saving money, but then you get into it and you get down the fucking rabbit hole and you end up spending more money than what you would if you were getting factory loads, but you're getting the results that you want. So there's that whole, a lot of guys that I've spoken to have been, well, if you get into hand loading, you'll save X amount but then I think I calculated it, for me to save money on my 243, I'd have to be shooting 700 rounds in 6 months, which I'm probably never going to do, not in my current situation anyway. So
Not with that attitude, but yeah.
no, not with that attitude. Not at all.
I get you. Like, I do get you. How much fun do you want to have as well? Do you want to spend that time reloading or shooting?
That's exactly right. And that's like the convenience of having a good factory ammo that runs really well in your rifle. All you got to do is find it. And then you can just go, wham, 10 minutes in the gun shop, you're done.
Yeah. And then out to the range.
It's a bit of trial and error to find what works in your rifle. And the other thing with factory ammo is it can go in and out of being good. So, what we're using now is great, but give it a year or so, they might play around with the formula. Something might change in the factory. They might move factories, and it just has that slight little variation that all of a sudden that ammo is just no good through your rifle anymore, and that's frustrating. Whereas hand loading, you're putting the same variables every time into your rifle.
Yeah, but also we're talking about like sub MOA at stupid ranges as well. You don't need that if you're hunting. Like that pinpoint accuracy that you get, the variance that you'd narrow it down to with reloads compared to factory loads, if you find a good one, you just don't need it when you're hunting.
Well, for normal ranges, like 300 meters, you don't need to go stupid. You really don't. Having said that, we've all shot animals out, 400, 450, 500 meters almost. So factory ammo is capable. You're right.
Shit, yeah. I don't know. It's one of those things where it's factory loads versus hand loads. Like factory loads have come a really long way.
They have
a really long way. Like the tolerances have reduced. The science behind the manufacturing is increased exponentially to the point where you could get the average hand loader and put him against some of the factory rounds, and they would stand up to it.
Yeah.
So I think that it's just a hobby thing now.
Yeah, except for PPU. PPU is terrible.
Have you got any statistical data to back that up, Ryan? Or
Yeah. I actually
Hang on. No, can you please answer that question and spend the next 5 minutes Googling it?
I don't need to Google. I come into these things prepped.
What happens in space? Hand loads or factory ammo?
Well, it depends on which caliber you're firing.
Which alien civilization you buy them from.
And whether it's a fast burning or slow burning powder.
All right, let's...
And whether it's a laser.
Cool. Anyway, thanks again, Mitch, for a little talking point.
Shout out to Mitch. He's
everyone else out there, send us some questions. We love answering questions.
We're seriously considering introducing I don't know what we would call it, but a questions and answers sort of segment where...
Q&A.
Q&A? Well, sounds so fucking boring. We'd have to come up with a better name than that. But yeah, shout out...
We'll call it Ask Us a Fucking Question.
Ask us a fucking question. That's going to happen.
That's more manly.
Yeah. Ask us a fucking question. So get on the grams. We are Send It Mate Podcast. Have a chat. Caleb's always on there. So you're more than likely gonna have a conversation with that man.
I also read our emails.
That's true. And we have emails.
Hang on, wait. We have a password for the email account.
We go through this every week. You don't get passwords.
You'll get
Josh.
there eventually, Josh. It's all good.
I don't even get to play with the soundboard.
We don't trust you with the buttons.
I tell you what, as a special treat this week, when we do ND, I'll let you press the ND button, all right?
Oh, do I get to press the button next week?
Yes. And if you're a good boy. All right, well, let's get into the topic this week, which is Safeword.
Safeword. Now, this is opening up a couple of fucking rabbit holes.
It's something Josh is used to saying to his boyfriend, but...
Is it mahogany? Is that your safe word?
What was it again?
No. I can't remember what it is.
You don't have a safe
been so
word
long
because you're both open to anything,
Yeah,
baby.
Yeah. Wouldn't mind trying a bit of hot wax, actually.
Mine used to be Panda.
Panda. Really?
Really?
You're just like, Panda.
She sticks your finger up the arse and you're like, Panda. Panda. Oh, Panda.
It's always like, Panda. As he's like fucking moving around like he's just
As
an
he, I like how
electric
we're
shock.
always assuming it's a he.
I mean, yeah. Anyway, Ryan, of all of us, you're probably the most likely to actually have a safe word. So
Yeah, this is true.
we'll let you go first with the first topic breakdown.
Well, safe word. I actually, I was thinking about this one for a little bit. And then I had this, I'll just dive straight into it. Voice activated firearms.
Discuss? What?
No, they're a thing.
Hey,
So there was
Jason
there's a
Bourne.
patent that was submitted in 1995 to start research into the technology of voice activated firearms. So it's not readily available now to the general public.
Of course it isn't.
But there's. I mean, I'm going to get into something else which people can do, which is fucking hilarious. So there is technology where you can have interchangeable grips. So they sell a grip that has the computer in the grip with a mic, and it picks up your voice, same as what Alexa or Google Home will that do. You register your voice pattern to it, and then only you can activate that firearm with your voice pattern.
This sounds very James Bond.
It is very fucking James Bond, and the technology exists. Fuck yes.
Sounds like some Jason Bourne shit.
Yeah, man.
So, for the average punter at home, how
You can hook up your Alexa to fire a gun.
Hey, Alexa, shoot
Literally.
the criminal in
Yeah.
the
Hey,
tail.
Alexa, fire the gun. Bang.
I just find
It's
think
a thing.
pointless because
Well, it's not. I mean, it's not that hard to do.
Oh, it had new meaning to like giving your firearm a name. Like, you'd be like, hey Lucille.
so I can
I
just
want
be
my
like,
shoot
gun
your
to
gun.
speak to me.
hey Genevieve, pop one off, will ya?
I love it when you talk dirty.
Hey Genevieve, can you just fucking nail that deer at 2:50?
Shazza, stop being a bitch.
Oh, we just pissed off all
But why?
Shazza.
Nah. Sure, like for the same reason that I don't think autonomous cars are going to really take off because people love the feeling of
that's-
driving themselves.
That's like in an industrial sense, that's incorrect because all the mines, all the
shit, yeah.
vehicles, the dumpers,
It'll be
the
a thing.
mines are all automated, mate.
A vast majority of the population cannot be fucked driving themselves.
I actually have a story with this. So I've got a friend that works in the mines in Queensland, and he was telling me about this, and he was sitting there saying that the dump trucks couldn't register that a corner was coming up to slow down, so they were doing 60 k's an hour or 40, whatever the speed limit is,
too fast.
around the corners around this mine site, and the dumpies would tip over, and then the whole mine, the
Because
whole
of
site,
the G-forces on the corner.
Yeah,
just
That's a
Yeah.
big fucking
and then
truck.
the weight
G-force
distribution.
or
G-force.
centrifugal force?
Yeah, centrifugal sounds more
I reckon
like.
it'll be centrifugal force.
Anyway, the dump trucks tip over and the whole mine shuts down. And my mate was sitting there, Sir, was saying it was cheaper to stop the mine site and like turn the dumpy over again and then continue the line than it was to get people to drive the cars.
That's ridiculous.
Yep. So they would take the hit of the autonomous cars fucking up because it was still more productive.
Wow.
Yep.
So the cost benefit of not paying humans to drive the trucks.
But you think about like if someone else drove your car for you, like the computer drove your car for you, your efficiency would also
No.
increase.
So
Everything
take all
would
that out
increase.
of it. I'm talking about just the joy of driving. And yep, if you're commuting to work and it's
Yeah,
boring
you
as fuck.
basically drive an auto. Well, drive an autonomous car. You drive an auto, mate.
Yeah, I know. And do you know what? I actually miss driving a manual.
Yeah.
You won't say that until you're suddenly
Yeah, but it's also
driving a 3-litre Toyota up a hill.
I like driving, right? So I probably wouldn't want someone to just drive me around or have a robot drive me around. Anyway, we're not talking about cars here. We're talking about guns. Do you really want to just activate the trigger with your voice, or do you want to?
No, to be able to use the firearm, not to fire. So to have the safe, like it's a safe word. So to have the safety
Activated.
Okay,
deactivated.
so you only use it if you
Yeah.
speak to it first.
You're also getting onto things like DNA coded, like weapons.
yeah, that's
Fingerprint triggers. And stuff.
yeah.
DNA
And the technology
DNA
exists for
coded.
that as well.
Yeah.
But no, what would your safe word be if you had a firearm?
Flugenheimer. I don't even know what that means, but it's provocative. Oh, fuck. I can't talk.
but it's provocative.
Do you find you can't fucking talk as soon as you're on the podcast? You're just like
you get the nervous jitters.
a bumbling mess, eh? You're like,
You were a little bit nervous.
Hey, is this your disclaimer for all the listeners who are out there who are just like, Why is Josh so shit?
Do you use that line in bed as well? You're talking to the bird. You're like, do you ever get real nervous like when you're between the sheets? You're fine beforehand, like fucking raring to go, but then you get in there and you're like,
It's pre-cum.
I'm great by myself, but as soon as there's a female in the room, I'm just shit. This never happens.
I swear.
Can you just go outside for a little bit?
I've got a cramp. Oh, shit.
Oh dear.
Maybe use that
what
one.
would my safe word be to activate my rifle?
Yeah.
We all know.
Panda.
You love
And
That I'll never forget.
mine would be rich mahogany.
Okay, cool.
Just because it sounds sexy.
Oh, I don't even know what I would say. Not good with words.
Are you pissing in that cup? That's what it sounds like.
This is the weirdest way I've ever seen someone reload their cup.
You're
Refill
also
the
talking
cup.
about a dude who wipes from the front. So,
Hey, you go front to back. Everyone knows that.
yeah, but then you get, front to back means shit on your ball sack. Everyone knows that.
Front to back. No. Back to front.
back to
means
front.
you get shit.
No, you're right.
I've been doing it
So hang
wrong all
on.
this time.
How do you do it from front to back from the front?
That would be weird.
like-
That would feel weird.
It's like pushing. I mean, it's safety first, isn't it? It's like holding a knife. You push away from you so you don't get shit on you.
That's like patting your head and rubbing your
How
stomach.
I've been under like just a common misconception, not a common one. Not everyone knows how Josh wipes his ass. But how do you wipe, Josh?
With toilet paper.
Do you stand up? You do, don't you?
I don't know if I want to tell
You're a
my...
fucking standy wipey, aren't you?
I don't think I want to tell the public my fucking shitting habits.
I might try that though, because I've got such a large stature. If I like sort of crook to the left to get the old hand behind for the old wipey diapy, my left leg goes numb. So then I hobble out the toilet.
Not having wiped your ass properly.
I can't feel it anymore, but I'm pretty
Where
sure
are we
I'm pretty
going?
good.
I don't know.
We're talking about how we wipe our own asses right now.
This is
We've
all
gone
right.
from
This
voice
is all right,
activated
mate.
firearms to how do you wipe your ass?
This is all wrong.
That is the most aggressive digression ever, I think.
That's the best one yet.
No, is it good? I don't think so.
No one needs to picture Josh standing up to wipe his ass.
Shut your potty mouth.
I bet you're one of those kids at the urinal that pulled his whole pants down. Just instead of just opening his fly, he's actually going the whole pants to his ankles.
That awkward, yeah. And then the drips hit the pants.
There's always
Can
that.
we get off this topic?
No.
Seriously.
There's always that kid in school when you're like, I don't know, 6, and everyone else is mastered just like the fly down, pissing at the urinal. And then there's that one kid that just drops his dacks to his ankles. You're like,
Kudos to that bloke. He's like fucking
Oi.
flying free now.
Well, you work in an office, man. Next time, do you have like urinals?
yeah.
Yeah, like next time you go in when there's someone in there, just do the whole
Yeah.
Oh, actually,
Just do it, man.
I'll tell you a story, right? I'll tell you a story. So the only time that I ever heard of a sexual harassment case in my workplace, previous employer, it involved a urinal, and a rumor went around.
Was the urinal offended?
No, it involved a urinal and a guy who some other guys were joking that he always looked at other dudes' dicks at the urinal. So they got some old boxes and made up like petitions for the urinal and attached them to the urinal and then like followed this guy in and he's just stood there and gone, what the fuck? And they're like, oh yeah, we put those petitions up so you'd stop looking at everyone's dick at the urinal.
Wow.
And he fucking did them both for sexual harassment.
Oh, yeah.
He didn't see the funny side.
I would have just pissed on the cardboard, eh?
Yeah. Or I would have got like a massive black dildo and just stuck it to their computer screen.
Or reverse kangared the urinal or something.
I would have reverse kangared their fucking office chair.
Oh, there's like in that instance, I would have just done something else to get even. Like,
Yeah, man.
yeah. Anyway,
You got to be careful though, like, because some blokes don't appreciate that sort of like blokey humor. They don't see it as like, hey, we like you, so we're going to fuck with you. They take it as,
well, this is the thing. How do you know that your mates are really your mates? They hang shit on you.
yeah, fuck yeah.
Wait,
If
you guys
someone's
are really
not hanging
my
shit on
mates?
you, if someone's not hanging shit on you, they're not really your mate.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, that's true.
Cool. We done with.
Fuck.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
It's actually hot in here. Give me a second.
Can you
Did
leave
you
your
do that on
shirt on?
purpose? You walked in here with a shirt on and now you don't have one on.
Bro, it's hot.
I feel like there should be some sort of Magic Mike music playing right now.
It's hot.
Yeah.
Josh is stripping on the
I
podcast.
don't understand. It's hot, eh?
All right, can we move on?
Maybe it's the hormone replacement
You're
therapy.
wearing a jacket and you're inside.
I am.
So that's
Is
This
it my
definitely
turn yet, or are we
fucking
going to continue to
pre-planned.
talk about
I don't
Josh
know,
and
man.
his shirtless
we
state?
need to have some ground rules here with some clothing.
There is a dress code. Josh violates it weekly.
I'm going to sue you for sexual harassment. I can't even talk. Fuck's sake. I'll give up. I'm going to sexual harassment. You sexual fuckers. I don't know.
That's a harsh burn, man. There were several grammatical errors and spelling mistakes, but it was real harsh burn.
Sexual
I'm going to sue you.
Just stop. All right, let's move on. My turn. All right, safe word. So I'm going to turn this slightly sideways.
Yes, please.
So in the politically correct world of 2021, there are lots of words that are no longer safe to use without
I hope you have a list.
trigger. I have a small list. But in 2021, there's a heap of words that are no longer safe to use without triggering people, right? Or, in other words, words that are no longer safe words.
They're not socially acceptable.
See what I did there?
Go on, hit me. What do you got?
For like examples, everything that's not, gender neutral these days, we have to make it gender neutral. We don't have to, but we're encouraged to. We've brought up some of these words that are no longer acceptable, such as breastfeeding, which now must be called chest feeding.
Is that actually surely not?
No, it is legit because there's 0.0001% of men out there who have taken on breastfeeding or had gender reassignment surgery. So it is now chest feeding.
Hang on, I'm confused on that because if they've had gender reassignment surgery, would they not want to have breasts? So they would want to be breastfeeding instead of having something other than that.
Let's not overanalyze this. Anyway,
I heard something somewhere that there are, how do I put this PC? Transgender people out there that aren't gay.
I mean, that's subjective to the definition.
No, so like there are, like for an example, there are men out there that dress as women that still have girlfriends.
Yeah, I've heard of that.
Yeah.
it's a sliding scale of preference.
It just
Let's not break this down. I'm just giving some quick examples.
it's just
right?
very
Rapid
confusing.
fire.
There's
It's
no
it's
consistency.
your topic. So
Yes.
it says break down. We are breaking it
Yeah.
down.
All right,
All right,
well,
what's
I'll
next? What's
keep bringing
next
it
on,
like-
next on the list?
Some things are just, now gender neutral, such as, instead of policeman or policewoman, police officer, or instead of businessman, business person. Instead of
Tradesperson.
steward, is a female example, instead of stewardess, flight attendant. We're encouraged to use these alternative words now so as to not offend people. You shouldn't actually call it sex change. You should call it gender reassignment.
But it is a sex change.
But people claim that there is a difference between sex
but
and gender.
Yeah, if they don't, I kind of can see where they're going. With
Yeah,
that.
but
You see what they're doing there?
yeah, but sex is male or female. They're trying to identify as one.
Yeah,
of
but if you
those.
if you don't identify a male or female gender or multiple genders, then how does that come into play?
So what's the difference between sex and a gender?
These days, a lot of things apparently.
It's very complex, man.
That's what I mean. It's so complex, but with zero consistency.
Ryan, would you say that you like a sexy maid outfit? Does that do it for you?
Am I wearing it or is someone else?
No, someone else.
You are. It's
Bit of
2021.
column A, bit of column B.
So a female potential
Mm.
partner of yours, sexual partner, is wearing a sexy maid outfit.
Yes.
Do you find that attractive? Well, you're not allowed to say it's a maid outfit. You have to call it a house helper.
What the fuck? What is? I didn't. It was made like the female term for a cleaner. Is that?
I don't know. Somehow it's derogatory to females. or specific to females. There could be male house helpers out. Yes,
You
male.
could be a dude.
So
and
if
be a
that's the
maid.
case, you can't say butler.
Yeah, that's true.
What's the female version or gender neutral version? I don't know.
Of a butler, a wife.
Well,
So your wife's a dude.
here's one. Manhole.
I can't take that word seriously because now when they change it to person hole,
But it's not. Do you know what the suggested alternative to manhole is?
sure, what isn't a person hole?
No,
What is it?
it's a utility hole. Which describes a vagina very well, incidentally.
Utility hole. You can put your weed in there.
Like, all I'm trying to get at is how ridiculous is this stuff?
That's just fucking stupid.
I do have a point to all this because I'm going to bring it back to hunting. One that I actually learned this week is that you can't say Asperger's anymore. You're only allowed to say autism because, and this shocked me, right? Apparently, the guy who discovered, the German doctor who discovered Asperger's, whatever his name was, Asperger's, he was responsible during the Nazi regime for actually putting to death children who he diagnosed with autism.
Uh-huh.
So they said, oh, it's not a good thing to call Asperger's anymore.
But Asperger's is a part of the spectrum
Of autism.
of
Yeah.
autism.
Yep.
So how?
So now
See, this is
the
just
whole
the
spectrum of
fucking sheer stupidity of people.
Do you know what? I liked it when things were black and white, not all these layers of grey. No wonder kids are so fucking confused.
Yeah. No fucking shit.
Don't worry about 50 shades of grey. There's a fucking billion shades of grey.
Let's just confuse everything and have no actual fucking data behind it and then wonder why the generations are fucked.
It's frustrating, isn't it? But what I want to get at today in terms of words, safe words to say, is the
Rich
word
mahogany.
in a hunting context, the word kill versus the suggested alternative, harvest.
Harvest or take? I think that that's a strategic change.
Now,
Yeah, that's
my
just
question
trying
to you two is, should we sugarcoat things or should we tell it like it is?
Yeah, that's
Because
just
let's be
trying-
honest, you're killing a deer.
It's just trying to change our. Oh fuck!
I think there's a kind of like a
Change our stigma.
yeah,
But
there's
is
a connotation with the word kill though. Like you say kill, it's associated with because we have
There's a stigma, yes.
all of these. This is what I don't understand. Everyone's like, oh, you can't kill an animal. Oh, you can't have it. And then they go get fucking hopped up on red wine and watch crime fucking documentaries about murders and serial killers. That's the highest selling fucking documentary genre is crime
Yeah,
and murderers and serial killers.
We do it ourselves, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah, that's right.
we say put down an animal humanely versus kill an animal humanely.
Yeah, I think
Think the term, where I'm specifically going with here is the term harvest, which is always forever and a day been associated with literally harvesting plants.
yeah, but harvest implies that you're taking and utilising
yeah,
something.
that's true.
Should we do it or is it just virtue signaling?
Look, I think like just float your boat. I think you got to pick your crowd on where you're talking. If you're like talking to people that are maybe not anti-hunting but on the fence, maybe harvest is a good word to use just to soften it up for them.
Are you
And then once
saying-
you build a rapport, say kill.
Are you saying you should read your crowd and adjust your language
Yeah,
to a...
around us, I'll just be like, oh yeah, killed a deer.
I think we've had this conversation before.
Doesn't sound like you to be an apologist, Joshua.
Hey, you've changed, bro.
I don't know what you mean.
Are you
Getting soft
mellowing?
in your old age.
Yeah, you're mellowing.
No, I'm just learning.
Well, 20,
Hey, well played, sir.
20,
Well
2020,
played.
Josh would have been like, oh, fuck everyone. I'm calling it kill. I do what I want.
Yeah, don't deny yourself.
2021,
Drink
Josh,
port from a cask now, thank you, Caleb.
which is served to you in a wine glass.
Speaking of, can you
Stemless.
Send it.
send it, mate?
Send it.
I'm getting people around that, eh? So I've been to a few dinners and people will just, they're not mocking me. They're having a laugh with me. They're like, oh, Caleb, could you pass the cheese?
No, they're mocking you.
Send it.
They're mocking you.
Send it. Send the cheese. Just send it.
I refuse to pass anyone anything unless they literally say, yo, send it, mate.
Oh, trademark hashtag.
That's exactly right, because
Well played to you,
publicity.
Publicity.
Advertising.
Look, I think
Finances. This could be you. Investors.
bolts and holes. Anyway, I think we were talking about this before. Blood Origin just put up a post on Instagram about should we use the term kill or why do we kill? And one guy just simply wrote that because we like it. It's fun. That's the truth behind it. And realistically, if you're harvesting for meat or trophy or whatever, you're doing it because you like harvesting the meat. You like the end product. You like eating the meat.
But part of that process is
Part
killing
of
an
that process
animal.
is killing it. So essentially, you're lying to yourself if you say that you don't like to kill.
I think that the
an animal.
wording that's used there changes the interpretation of it. So if you're focusing on the kill and saying you like to kill things, it means you're specifically doing it to end the life of something. Whereas if you're saying that you enjoy the achievement and enjoy the outcome of taking,
Or just use the word harvest.
harvest implies it's a broader description of what it is that we do. Whereas the term kill narrows it down to that 3 seconds where you pull the trigger, it hits, and the animal dies.
Yes, but we're talking about not pussyfooting around it and things like that, and picking your crowd on the terminology that you use, which is an important thing to do because we're looked down upon instantly as hunters and shooters, no matter who you are, whether that's dogging, trapping, shooting, bow hunting, doesn't matter. You're automatically put into a category, and it's a bad category. So using the terms around the right people or softened terms around the right people is a good thing to help educate those that are ignorant and uneducated.
Well,
But
that's the key. It's ignorance because, yes, I will agree that hunting and killing animals is not for everyone. Not everyone can do it, but you can't say, how could you possibly ever do that unless you've tried it or been around it or understand it a bit more than just reading into a media narrative.
this brings me back to, I think we mentioned it before, last year actually, Louis Theroux. There's a couple documentaries where some journalists have gone into Africa on a safari, and there's two journalists that come into mind, and that's Louis Theroux and a female, I can't remember her name, both from the BBC, separate times. Louis Theroux agrees to getting behind a crossbow to take a warthog, I think, if I remember correctly, and he's behind it. He's in the blind behind the bow. There's a warthog in front of him, and he's got to that point where he's like, no, I can't do this.
Yeah, I've seen that. Yeah,
And, I respect that because I actually like this guy because he comes at things neutral. Yes, he puts his own opinion into it naturally because we're human beings. We always do. But he gives both sides and at least comes at it with a neutral sort of attack. And that's good.
A part of the process right up to the point of pulling the trigger. Or
He tried it to the
releasing
point
the
where
bow.
he wasn't comfortable doing it, which kudos to him for that. Because I'm not going to say most people, but in my experience, the people that are against,
They just wouldn't even get there.
they just don't.
Yeah.
They've never tried it. They've never gone, okay, this is what it is. Get out in nature. And we've covered this a fair bit in other podcast episodes that we've done. But I think people are so disconnected from nature and understanding that nature is death. It's life and death. That's literally what nature is. You either you either kill and survive, or you don't, you die. That's why it's called the food chain, because everything about nature is about dying and surviving. So this whole bullshit that people get up in arms about, fucking killing an animal, just if they disconnected themselves from the bullshit that they live in and the disconnect from what reality actually is for nature, and stripped away from all their house, all of their car, all their bullshit, and immersed themselves in what nature is and sat for an hour and watched what actually happens, they would have a mind-opening experience that there's no such thing as fucking butterflies and unicorns in the real world. It's monkeys that tear other monkeys apart. and all these cute little animals that destroy things. I mean, all you got to do is watch a fox and see what it does to a
Nature is
lamb.
brutal.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Even birds, man. They'll rip apart carrion and lambs and this and that. Small dogs, they're ruthless. They're freaking birds.
Nature is death and carnage, man. That's what it is,
Yeah.
and it's the big
Survival
dog
of the
survives.
fittest.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Look,
I don't know.
I
I think there's an element of pick your audience, but I don't think hunters should just all bow to the pressure of
no, but you
being persecuted.
Would you say that you have been right from the start open with hunting, or at the start were you conservative and watched who you spoke to about it, and now you're a bit more free?
From by degrees, I would say I'm a lot freer now because I'm very confident, and
I think
I'm so immersed in it now, so much a part of my life. Early days, it was a new thing, so I didn't really have the confidence to speak about it. But that's also just me. I like to know what I'm talking about before I have conversations with people because I don't like sounding stupid.
you learn how to talk to different people about it as well, like picking the people that. So if I was going to meet someone new,
And talk about semis, yeah. So,
So if I was going to go meet someone new, you wouldn't open up with "I'm a hunter." You'd go, "What do you do? This is your job." Like small talk shit, and you can get a grasp of the sort of person that you're talking to.
You just sprinkle it in there. What do you do outside of work? Oh, I go camping, fishing, outdoor stuff, bit of hunting, and then see if they bite. Oh, hunting? What do you mean?
Yeah, I always say shooting first. Like I'm a shooter. They're like, "Oh, you shoot?" Yeah. And then they go, "Do you shoot animals?" And like,
yes, of course.
yeah, I do.
I've got a funny story about that. Like I'm just getting the renos done in my bathroom, and I've decided to get a professional tiler in because I'm shit. Anyway,
Here.
I had the 2 deer heads on the front porch, and the tiler come up. He's come up in this like real nice trench coat that's like suede, and his Doc Martens and shit on or whatever. Anyway, he's walked in. He's walked up to the door, and I've opened it. I've come out, greeted him.
With a shirt on or without a shirt on?
And you can just see that he's just eyeballing these deer off.
Yeah, but you got like the full head just fucking sitting on the table at the front. It's like that deer eyeballs every motherfucker that comes to your house.
It's redneck style, that's for sure. But I've said to him, "Look, mate, sorry. I actually thought you were coming up a bit later, so I was going to pop him away." He's like, "Oh, no, that's fine. It's very interesting. Things are different here in the country, aren't they?" I'm like, "Yeah, mate."
You're like 20 minutes out of the fucking city.
Yeah, I'm like,
out of
dude.
the country.
Yeah. I'm like, mate, you've driven like 20 minutes, maybe half an hour.
I'm sorry, can we just go back? Are you sure this guy was a plumber? Doc Martens in a trench coat?
No, he was a Tyler,
No, it's
man.
Tyler.
Yeah, common
Sorry,
Tyler.
Tyler.
Yeah, he was a Tyler.
Tyler. Still doesn't sound like what a Tyler would wear.
We were coming out on Sunday, so.
Just come straight from church.
Okay, straight from church. There you go.
But I was just, I felt terrible for him. I was like, what a way to break the
Why do you
ice.
feel bad,
Two dead head on the table.
You should have been like, "You want to eat one?"
Yeah. I should have just pulled out my knife and started like cutting out the eye and started munging on it.
Maybe should have. All right, well, there you go. Safe words to say or not say.
Yeah, that gets me angry. Not angry. I get confused. Like I don't know. I can't see the logic.
It's too hard to
behind
keep
that.
up with.
Because you're not,
and it's constantly changing.
it's not understanding, man. You need to be more understanding.
No, it's each to their own, man. But when someone gets offended because I don't use a specific word, although the intent behind it isn't to be degrading or anything like that, but it's just because I've used a specific word, that's sheer fucking stupidity right
Or
there.
you've used the wrong pronoun.
Yeah. And you're like, well, fuck, dude. What do you want me to call you? I'm a XRYZ.
Well, you can't say fuck, dude.
Well, you can't say that. No.
Fuck, dude.
I refer to women as dudes quite regularly. None of them have
There's your first problem.
Do you know I never used to call chicks mate
I do that all the fucking time now.
until you. I've hung around. I mean, I've hung around you for a long time, but I've just noticed you do it a lot, and I've done it, and I actually like doing it. It's just like
Yeah.
They're your mate.
It's like it feels like you're talking to the chick the way that you would talk to a dude.
as an equal. Oh
As an
my
equal.
God, mind blown.
Yeah. Oh, heaven fucking forbid.
Meanwhile, I probably shouldn't call him a chick because that's derogatory.
It depends what they identify as.
I'll stop calling you man.
Maybe they like it. I don't know.
Fuck knows.
I don't know. It's too hard. It's too much to keep up with. Why is the world so fucking complicated?
Because we allow it to be, mate.
Yeah.
All right.
We do.
Cool. I'm done. Josh, what do you got?
Oh. Quick exit.
You got anything left?
Pop smoke. Fucking leave.
Let's make like a tree.
All right.
Are you trying to say you don't have a topic breakdown? Or?
I'm going to make things a little bit X-rated and tell a story.
He says while he sits there half naked.
Yes.
I don't know if I'm scared or excited.
Well, Josh's
Oh, now
nipples.
he's
Josh's nipples are telling a story right now.
Jesus.
So
Is it cold in here or your nipples happy to see me?
as most of the listeners know, I was in the army. And I had anyway, when I was posted in Darwin, I had a mate in the army. And one of the
Friend. Army friend.
typical weekends as a infantry soldier was to go out, get blind drunk and try and pick up a partner.
What's the acronym for that?
I don't know.
Puap. Pick up a partner. Pick up a partner.
You went out for a pull-up exercise.
But you go out to pick up, right?
Sorry, that's an initialization.
You know, Darwin was, from a bloke's point of view, like during the dry season, Darwin was pretty off its tits, and then the wet season happened, and the pickings were slim, real slim.
So in wet season, you couldn't find anything
The
to get wet.
twos suddenly had their pick at tens.
So what you're saying is in the dry season there was a lot of wetness and in the wet season there was a lot of dryness.
Grey areas, bro, can't keep up.
Okay.
Anyway,
Carry on.
so this dude went out one night. Now, I don't know how credible this story is because it come from him, and everyone likes to stretch a bit of the old truth in a good pickup story. Either or, it's a great story. So he's gone out, he's got blind drunk, he's picked up this bird. Okay. He's gone back to her.
What breed of bird was it?
It was a fucking majestic fucking hawk, all right? I don't know. What breed
Note
of
how
bird.
many gender specific words we're using in this story.
Peacock. Because
Fuck
even
me.
the males are pretty.
Anyway, I'm just going to continue to talk.
Please do.
Keep going.
So he's gone back to her what are they called?
Palace.
Apartment, sorry. Apartment
pad.
in Larrakia, I think it was. Anyway,
To her rutting bed.
he's done his thing. So anyway, that's where everyone lost communication for the night. We all went and did our things. The next day at work, he's sitting there telling us about it. Oh, yeah, I picked up this bird. Went back to her place. Yeah, we didn't even make it into a bedroom. We were sort of sitting on the in the kitchen, or on the dining table, doing our thing. And then I put her on the ground, and she's got up. She's gone into the kitchen. She's grabbed a tea towel, and she's put it in his bum.
Well, hang on.
Just jam this tea towel in his mum.
stuffed it in like a magician does into his hand with a fucking handkerchief? Or?
Look, I don't know. I weren't there. I have no idea. I'm presuming he's done the old minty
did
wrapper.
Did she go in dry?
I don't know. I'm presuming it's the old minty wrapper, nice and dry. Anyway, she's just looked at him and said, "When you're about to."
What do you mean by the old
What's the
minty
minty
wrapper?
Oh, if you run out of bog paper and you've got a minty wrapper, you just use that. Like, put it on your finger and then shove it in your ass and wipe your ass with it.
Okay, again, this is another reason your ass bleeds.
No, the old minty wrapper.
It's way too small. You just cover it in shit.
No, the idea is, because you run out of bog roll, mate, the idea is just to get the outer layer off and then you're good.
Where do you get a minty wrapper from anyway?
From your minty bag.
Do you have a bowl of mints in your toilet?
It's not in your fucking
Do
toilet.
Frantails work just as well?
They got like a chocolate coating. A little bit of lube, mate.
Don't get confused.
The minty wrapper makes it smell good too.
I mean, if the toilet paper runs out, you may as well use the toilet roll itself.
And what do you do? Do you just do you flush it? Because that's not flushable, bro.
Fuck. I'm talking about when you're like driving in your car, you run out and you got to take a shit and there's no bog roll in your car or something.
Leaves.
Not in your fucking toilet. Go to the
Grass.
shops and get some more toilet paper, you creep.
Tissues. Discarded items of clothing.
Oh, God.
T-shirts.
Can we get back to this?
Anyway,
All right,
so
so-
she got a tea towel and stuffed it in his ass.
Yeah,
Hang on. Let's set the scene. he's on all fours.
All right, so when I think about this, as much as I don't want to think about this, I imagine there's like a wall light or two on, no ceiling lights, right? They've just busted through the door. They're fucking macking on.
The throes of passion.
Yeah, they're ripping each other's shirts off. She's a little. I'm presuming
There's
she's
Barry
a bit
White playing in the background and some candles are lit.
No music. I'm presuming she's a bit alternative. Maybe some tattoos, some piercings, some of those skin.
Dude, that's not
studs.
alternative anymore. That's mainstream.
Whatever. Back then it was fucking like freaky. Anyway, and I presume they're busted in. They've sort of like hit the kitchen counter or the kitchen bench. They're doing their thing, and then they've just migrated to the floor. She suddenly just got up, grabbed this tea towel out of the kitchen, and just jammed it up his ass. So I'm presuming there was some ass play going on prior to this, because if someone just went in like
Since when did we become my dad wrote a porno?
Yeah, that is a good podcast, man. That is hilarious.
Those who want some fucking easy listening, just Spotify that.
You want to just die in laughter? Yeah, watch
My
that.
dad
Listen to
wrote
that
a
shit. Yeah.
Anyway, tea towel stuffed in ass after foreplay.
Anyway, yeah, tea towel in the backside, up the doot. Anyway, she's like whispered to him, when you're ready to come, tell me. So he's like, oh, this is not. He's pretty out there anyway, right? So he was pretty loose
He's down
unit.
for the loose shit.
So he was like, yeah, sick, whatever. So anyway, they're doing their thing, and he's obviously getting to his climax. And he's like, yeah, I'm going to come, whatever. And just as he's done it, she's ripped the tea towel out of his ass and he's shat all over the ground, right?
He's just lost
all over the
control.
kitchen floor. Like, boom, just lost control. He reckons it was just a hideous shit. Right. Anyway, he was that embarrassed, and that was too freaky for him. So he got up and he ran to the bathroom and was like, fuck, to gather his fucking thoughts. I'm presuming
And
wipe
wipe
his
the
ass.
shit.
Something. Anyway, he's come back in, apologising as he's walked through the hallway into the kitchen, and there she is, playing in it.
She was freaky.
Rolling around full mud wrestle
just
style.
full, like, putting all over herself and, rubbing it in and that. And he reckons he was just that fucking wigged out. He just ran. He just grabbed his shit and busted out the door.
Didn't wipe or anything.
So I'm taking that he should.
Have had a
Should have had a
safe
safe
In
word.
this instance, he should have had a safe
Yes.
word. But it sounds like he didn't get the opportunity to discuss one. They didn't.
Yeah.
There was no workshopping of the safe word. There
Well-
was just a towel inserted.
This is true.
What would have gone through his mind? She's like, did she ask permission, or did just fucking all of a sudden he's just going at it, and then there's a tea towel just
Well,
shoved
I'm
up
just
his ass?
like, there's obviously a build up. They're obviously like mid coitus, and obviously there's some bum play going on or something. I don't know.
If you're going to tell that story to your mates, he'd have to be leaving something out.
Oh, you got to realise, man, in the army, there's no bounds. No,
Oh no, I'm fully aware of
zero
that.
bounds.
I mean, I do wonder if this guy was the OG recipient of the tea towel up the arse, because I've heard a variation of this story from others. Like, was this an urban legend, or was he the guy that had it done first? Like, I reckon I've heard a similar story told by a completely different set of mates, but essentially a similar sort of thing.
So there is a guy out there who's known as the dude that had the tea towel.
I don't
So
know.
whether it was your mate, it happened to someone.
I don't know. All I remember is him telling the story and me wetting my pants, mate.
But was it like a high end tea towel that was like nice and fluffy? Or was it like the fucking Kmart special that was like
Bro,
sandpaper?
it's Darwin, so it was probably like not even Kmart. It's probably like Coles.
So it was really just like a rag with like a little bit of metho on it still.
Surely you'd wet the corner of it.
That's, yeah.
Why don't you give it a go tonight?
No, I'm getting into the logistics of this now.
Why?
You'd wet the corner of the tea towel, wouldn't you?
What would that achieve?
Just to help it slip up there.
Would it?
Yeah.
Nah, it'd create friction.
You can force things into tight places, man.
water on a tea towel, that wouldn't do fuck all.
Look, this is nothing to do with hunting, but I wanted to
We're
bring
just discussing how to insert a tea towel.
I wanted to bring it back
Oh,
to
this comes into life in general.
where is your safe word?
Where is it? Written
Yeah.
down so I don't forget it.
I lost that piece of paper.
It's not in my wallet. Fuck. Fuck.
I have no safe word.
Are you trying to ask?
Where's your line before you
As in, how
in
far
terms
would we
of what?
go?
Pain, sex,
anything, mate? I don't know. Anything,
Dude, I'm like a don't knock it till you tried it kind of guy. So I will try anything at least once. If I like it, I'll do it again.
I don't think you can fully grasp if you like something the first go. I think you've got to do it twice.
I think it's one of those things.
Yeah, I
I
really
think-
don't like this.
Yeah, but you know if you don't like it. Like if you're like, meh.
Oh, if
just
you're,
like, nah,
if
then
you're
you do it
horrified
again.
or feel like you've been
Violated.
badly.
Yeah, probably don't do it again.
Okay, so yeah, I don't know. It's where the line is depends on the situation and the person you're with. You might have a different line with a different person.
How many lines have we done before we go into this venture, though? I'm sorry, you walked straight.
Pun
into that one.
intended.
I did.
You did.
Anyway, I think let's get off Safeword. Josh, there's a special moment in time. Would you like to press the button?
Ooh, I would.
Hit the button, Josh.
Can I have a tea
Hit the
towel
button.
to place over the button?
Go. Press it.
ND!
ND.
Negligent discharge.
Do you feel special?
Yes. Yes, I
That's excellent.
do. I'm going to carry on to the ND this
All right,
week.
what do you got?
So, the other week, I'm doing a farrier's apprenticeship. So, those who don't know what a farrier is, they shoe horses. Not shoot, shoe. They shoe and shape horses.
Is it shod? Is shod?
Shod.
a word? Shod.
Shod.
You've shod horses.
Yeah.
I went down and they shod the horses.
Yeah, anyway. So, and I do this with a mate, a close mate. We're actually all friends with him. Anyway, he works down
It's not exclusive. This is
South.
Joshua.
Stephen.
South. Yeah, this is Peven. Oh,
Stephen.
Peven.
Stephen spelled with a P. Stephen.
Yep. Anyway, he works down south, and we were down in Goolwa, I believe. I think, if I can remember correctly, the other week. And we've just come up to a job. It's a normal job. We've got out, got the tools out. We started taking shoes off. He started shaping the hoofs, and I've started shaping the shoes. Anyway, next thing you know, there's these dogs just running around your feet. Now, dogs love to eat the offcuts from the horse's hoof.
Is that the equivalent of chewing on nail clippings?
Basically,
Yeah,
yes.
basically, yeah. Yeah, pretty much. Anyway, the dogs were getting into it, and we didn't really mind because dogs come in and out of the work site all the time. Anyway, I just remember handing something to Steve, and these dogs just suddenly turned, and the owner thought they were staffies. They weren't. I don't know how the owner didn't even know the own breed of his dog, but just to set the scene, that's the type of people that we were working with. And they weren't. They were pit bulls, right? Anyway, so these two pit bulls have just gone off behind me, and I've looked over my shoulder and gone, oh, shit. I'm not going to, break that up. I ain't getting bitten over this shit. Anyway, the owner or the female...
Hey, when you say they've turned, like the dogs are just having a crack at
just
each
like,
other.
I'm talking about bare teeth, blood, just dripping everywhere, they're biting each other, they're just absolutely going at it.
Oh, geez.
Anyway, the wife of the owners run over and tried to pull them apart, and in doing so, I felt so bad for not stepping in because this woman's just struggling. So I've gone to step in, and I've grabbed the back leg of the dog, pulling it apart, and Steve's come in and booted it to try and get him to release, and it did. But then the other dog bit that dog that released its bite. And then just grabbed it on its neck and was just not letting go. Nothing we could do would let it go. At this stage, the husband's come down, run down and just slid fucking like a soccer slide on the fucking ground and grabbed this dog. And the wife's in hysterics. And she's turned around and said to her husband, stick your finger in its ass. That'll make it let it go.
Did she used to live in Darwin by any chance?
So this dude just popped his fucking digit in its doot. and this poor dog. Oh man, have you seen those memes that are like CGI that have like their dog's eyeballs popping out of their head? That's what it was like. This dog's
really?
eyeballs was like, what the fuck? Naturally, it's let go of that dog that it had in its mouth and then turned around and grabbed the owner's arm and just ripped his bloody forearm. Like, just bit it and ripped it off. And I'm at this stage, I'm like, oh, fuck.
Did no one think to just get the hose?
We weren't near a hose, bro.
Far out.
Pee on it.
We're in the middle of a paddock.
Stick your finger up its ass. I've never heard that.
Yeah. Yep.
What the heck? No, the ND is on the owners of the dogs.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yep.
Oh,
That was terrible. It was, I don't know. I'm traumatized by it. To be
so
honest.
what? Did the owner just be like, yeah, nah, it's just a scratch? Or was he like, because he would have lost, like,
No, he went to hospital like then and there.
yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
How'd you get this injury? I stuck my finger up a pit bull's ass. Well, that was stupid.
Turns out he wasn't into that sort of thing.
He didn't like it.
Me and Steve, like, we were just looking at each other like, what the fuck? Man, we had like pretty much like the rest of our day's humour was just pretty much based around that one job. It was great.
Just stick your finger in its ass.
But, yeah, it's something that I'll never forget, that's for sure.
Oh, Jesus. I think that's like, if you're going to buy a dog, know the breed. Fuck. It
Yeah.
makes a huge difference.
Yeah. I don't think that was the first time that those two dogs had gone at each other either. But
Wow.
like these dogs like were just pissing out with blood as well. Like I remember walking past.
I'd put a bullet in one of them. If that was me and that was my property,
Oh.
I'd just be like, yeah, nah, you're done.
It's not up to me, man. I didn't get
Yeah,
bit,
I know.
so I don't
It's
care.
not up to you, but I'm saying if I was in that scenario and I had two dogs that go at it that like with the ferocity that they did, I'd put a bullet in one of them.
Yeah,
I'd pick out the worst one because, like, especially because I've got kids as well. Like, you don't want to have that sort of thing, man.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Especially with that breed, like that. That's sort of turning all of a sudden. That just comes down to piss poor training as well.
Yeah. I don't really know the ins and outs and why, but yeah, I definitely wouldn't be letting those two dogs chill with each other anymore, especially around kids.
The point of the story is conflict management should not be done with digital penetration of a
Did it work though? Did he actually
Mate,
stick
it
it
worked.
in there?
It worked, but then he got bit, so I don't know if you could call it a
yeah.
win.
I mean, it needs to be like you got to have a quick withdraw if you're going to do it. I think that's what we learned out of it. That's it. Get it in as soon as he's disconnected from that thing that he's latched on, just straight out.
Yeah.
pull-out game has to be strong.
Yeah,
to be honest.
It has to be well strong.
But that's this week's ND anyway.
Nice one.
That was a good one.
Yeah.
Cool. All right, well, there we go.
Well, we are going into the wrap now, which is me. So next,
Well done.
I
can read.
We keep writing in pink, and I can't read pink very.
You're doing
It's
Josh.
a terrible colour to write.
It
Yeah.
is, and it's a
Performer.
highlighter. Why do you keep writing in highlighter? Get a real fucking pen.
You do have a problem with it. You can fucking start doing it yourself. Doesn't have
I'm
to be
just-
me every
I'm
week.
just giving criticisms that are constructive, and you didn't seem to be taking it very well.
Like, do you want to fight? Like,
I'll
we'll fucking
fucking
fight over
fight
this,
ya.
and then Josh can break us apart by sticking his finger up one of our asses. How's
And
that?
then I'll bite his arm and tear half of his fucking forearm off.
It's all right. I'll spit on it first for you.
Thanks,
A
mate.
true gentleman.
Thank you.
Jesus.
All right, Ryan, wrap us up, please.
So, well, thank you very much for listening, ladies and gentlemen. We do appreciate you putting up with our bullshit.
You fucking love it.
Oh, yeah. Keep tuning in. There is more to come. So next week, we have Meet the Family.
We might have a little surprise. We might
Oh,
not.
maybe we do. Tune in. We'll see how that one goes. But, ladies and gentlemen, this has been... I'll start again. This has been Send It Mate Podcast, Season 2, Episode 12. I'm Ryan,
And I'm Josh.
And I'm Caleb.
and we will see you guys tuning in next week. Peace out!
Catch you later.
Catch ya.
G'day, dude and dudettes. Josh here. Do you find it hard to keep your long, hard barrels free from gun STDs? Maybe you need a clean out of your bore. If this is you, jump on over to highcaliber.com.au and use the promo code SENDITMATE to receive a 10% discount on all your gun cleaning needs. And remember, it's sexy to support Australian-made products. Everyone here at Send It Mate uses High Caliber, and we can promise you that it'll keep your firearms free from those pesky gun STDs.